Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Get Your Happy TV podcast. And today's episode, we are talking about how to redirect your thoughts from self-doubt, criticism, or those negative past experiences that we've experienced that are not so positive. So how to do that? Simple, easy podcast. Make sure you have something to write with, or a tablet or something to record it, or just really make sure that you're doing some of that active listening, which can assist you with retaining the information provided. So pretty easy, very simple. Some of these tips we may already do, but I really wanted to reinforce the positive and the importance on how this can really redirect your brain from taking those really just kind of doing that downward spiral. We see a lot in social media. We see a lot in our, maybe our working life, maybe within our family, even with our friends, or just experiencing through the day, whether it's driving or, in the grocery store, or, in a business meeting. And sometimes you can see negative energy or self-doubt can kind of creep upon you just by, different situations you may be having, whether it's a conversation, maybe a not so good conversation. A good podcast to refer back to is my Conversations, How Your Conversations Can Affect Your Life. Taking a look at that episode, I will link it down below, or somewhere in this video. That way you can reference to it maybe at the end. So how to redirect the brain with self-doubt, criticism, and really just, like I said, just taking that downward spiral that can happen sometimes, that mental downward spiral. So to redirect your thought, what I've learned, I actually was told to, in my experience of counseling and, seeing my own professional counselor, after, any sort of trauma. I think it's, I really wish it was a mandatory event, even for, kids in high school. There are a lot of things going on. And I think it is, very imperative that we, reinforce this activity as it, we need to communicate, making sure we're communicating in a healthy way. So with that being said, breathing, it really, when you start to feel as if you're getting those negative thoughts, whether you're scrolling your news feed and you're comparing yourself, as we all know, that is, very, very toxic when you're comparing yourself to others, or if you're, really just, maybe you had a bad shopping experience. I think we all can relate to that. When we have a very negative experience in the fitting room and we're starting to say, oh my gosh, why did I do this or do that? So this is your time to really just come back to the breath. I think I talk about this in almost every podcast that I possibly can. And, deep breathing, inhalation, it's sending those signals to the brain for calm, centering, relaxing, taking the pressure off of yourself, because we're putting that pressure on us to be, maybe it's perfect, maybe it's, a certain career, a certain lifestyle, or really just pressuring ourselves with work. That can happen. That is the reason why it's good to really just unwind and take a vacation if you can. So just making sure you're coming back to your breath. And I remember when she said it, I was like, really? It's so simple. Breathing, really? So make sure you're coming back to your breath. That is very important when you're starting to feel like you're starting to pick yourself apart, or just having those toxic thoughts. So the next topic, the next tip, when, to really, redirect your brain, is identify what it is that you fear. And so that plays a very big role, if you're purchasing a home, getting your first apartment, your first car, maybe you're taking out your first loan and you're worried about getting approved, and then you start to have those thoughts, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe my credit's not up to par, maybe, who am I to have, ask for this much? Who am I to have this car? Who am I to have this lifestyle? And so we all do it. I am one of them, raising my hand. And so really just figure out and identify the fear. These are fear-based thoughts. That's what it is. I want you to write that down. Whenever I'm inflicting self-doubt, these are fear-based thoughts. What am I really afraid of? I'm afraid of, not being able to own, that car. I'm afraid that, I actually will get the loan. What will I do with all this money? Or, what will I do with all this space? So really just thinking about that fear, what it is that you're really afraid of, because those, like I said, are fear-based thoughts. So really figure that out after you've taken a deep breath. This is a great place to start journaling. If you haven't started, this is a great tool to, even if you have a Post-it. I keep my Post-its all the time, and I'm always writing things down, and it really just keeps me clear. And then, when I find it, I can go back to it. It's a really good tool and a reminder to yourself that you are enough. And whatever it is that you're looking to achieve, you are enough, and you can have these things, and you are worthy of them all. So the very last tip, whenever you start to feel like you're finding yourself in a pit of self-doubt, self-criticism, and really just having those negative thoughts, right? Because we're redirecting the brain. So we feel it, we've acknowledged it, we're breathing, and we're now, identifying what it is that what am I really afraid of? And now that you figured it out, play some happy music. These, and so affirmations, these are very good tools to redirect the brain, really just sway you in the other direction. Instead of having that downward spiral, you want to bring yourself back up. And by doing that, you play on that good music. So, Pharrell Williams, Happy, Bruno Mars, Grammy Award winner, awesome guy, 24 Karat Magic, Finesse, Beyonce, I love Beyonce, and, Formation, whatever it is to really get, help you gain back your power, because that is what happened. We really just lose ourselves in those downward toxic thoughts. So, and, giving yourself a beautiful affirmation that you are enough. So whether it is you're going for that loan, you're trying out that new career, you're considering purchasing, your first car, you've recently just had a, nasty breakup, and you're just really just putting yourself out there, you're trying that new career, do it. You are enough. You deserve blessings and abundance and happiness. So I want you to really just think of that. So breathe, identify that thought, and redirect the brain by taking it back to some good old music and a positive affirmation. So that's it for this podcast. Very simple, very sweet and positive. And I think I have my little furry friend who's upset, so I got to redirect her. But yes, so comment below and tell me what you think about this podcast. And we're moving on to some new vibes and eclipse tonight. So I will see you back. Remember to check my blog if you want to know about this awesome red lip that is vegan friendly. This whole makeup look is all natural and vegan friendly. So I will see you back on the next episode, and I will see you on my blog. So tell me what you think, and I'll see you back.